Hello fellow cinephiles, Film Guru here. Today I'm reviewing Rocketman. This was directed by Dexter Fletcher and stars Taron Edgerton, Jamie Bell, Bryce Dallas Howard and Richard Madden. It's an epic musical fantasy about the human story of Elton John and his breakthrough years. The film follows the fantastical journey of transformation from shy piano prodigy Reginald Dwight into international superstar Elton John. The film also looks at the relationship between Elton John and his partner and writing collaborator, Bernie Taupin. I was anticipating this to be really good. I saw the trailer and I thought it was an interesting concept. It felt more of a fantasy than it did a straight up biography, and I liked that aspect to it, and I thought that would bring something original, unique to the film, which it does in a lot of ways. And unfortunately, this film is ultimately going to be put up against Bohemian Rhapsody, very similar to what they did with other films that came out about the same subject matter, such as Armageddon and Deep Impact, Prestige and Illusionist, and movies like that, where there's two films that are a similar subject. And these two films are ultimately going to be put against each other. What I did like about this film is much what I mentioned a moment ago, is how they made a sort of fantasy version of it. There's some really great set pieces and sequences that take place in the film. I like the choice of songs they use and how they portray them on screen in a musical way. This film was a lot more musical than I expected. I know that's a strange thing to hear, but I just mean it wasn't a traditional musical, but I didn't expect it to go this sort of way either. I thought it was be more a traditional biography film, from start to finish, with a bit of music along the way and showing the particular songs that were important in the particular artist's career, much like Bohemian Rhapsody. But this film took a different route, which I really liked. It was sort of refreshing and unique. I liked the way that the story is told through and what they do for Elton John to be able to tell his own sort of story. And there is some really great sequences in it that I really love. And I think Taron Edgerton's really great in this. He does a solid job. I'd like to see him in more musicals because I think he's got quite a talent as a singer and dancer. And he gives quite a solid performance. I think all the acting's solid in this. Bryce Dallas Howard is surprisingly good. I haven't seen a really good like this in a long time. Richard Madden's solid in it. He plays a bit of an arsehole ultimately. And I don't know if I'm sold on him as a particular actor, being this is the first thing I've ever seen him in, but I'm interested to see a bit more of his work. But I think the person who silently and slowly steals this is Jamie Bell. I think Jamie Bell's a very talented young guy, and he does some really great performances. And I think he deserves more. I think he deserves more of a lead role than he does these bit parts, because he's very talented. He can sing, he can dance, and he's very interesting to watch, and he has that movie star quality to him. And I saw him in a film not long ago where he was sort of the lead next to Annette Bening, who was playing Gloria Graham in Movie Stars Don't Die in Liverpool. And I just think he's a very solid actor, and he has something unique about him that sort of shines through. And I want to see much more of him in a lead role because I think he's a brilliant actor. Like most films, there was stuff I liked about it and stuff I didn't like. So the stuff I just mentioned was sort of things I did enjoy about it. There are things I didn't like about it. So the things I didn't like about it is it just didn't feel... There wasn't enough oomph there. There wasn't as fun and fantasy based as I thought it would be. It wasn't as entertaining as I thought it could have been. Like I said, Taron Edgerton does a solid job. I think he's a solid actor, but I don't feel he's a movie star. I don't think he has any kick or any spark in him to really shine as a lead sort of role. I think that Rami Malek has that ability, and that's why he shines a bit more in Bohemian Rhapsody, and he sort of is a movie star. With Taron Edgerton, I just haven't found anything that I really loved him in, I guess. This is my second favourite performance of him, I suppose, where Eddie the Eagle's the first. And I just feel that, I don't know, it just feels like he's an actor playing a character rather than being the character, where Jamie Bell really felt he was Bernie, and I really liked that aspect. The same with Bryce Dallas Howard. She really felt like she was the mother character. The other things I didn't quite like about it is they tried to be controversial with things, but they weren't. It was very It was sort of very tame with what it was trying to do. Yeah, there are scenes of drug taking, stuff like that, and you know, there's sexual stuff in it as well, but it's just very sort of glazed over. I don't think it was really powerful and extraordinary, and I didn't think it was pushing boundaries like I felt it should. They went on and on about how Bohemian Rhapsody didn't push boundaries and didn't show the particular world and the life this person lived. And this sort of felt like the same. It didn't push any barriers, it didn't do anything new and interesting with the material. And I just felt that all the controversy around it and the ideas in it, it wasn't very tame to what it could have been. I agree with a friend of mine, there were some songs that I felt didn't really need to have a musical element to or a musical scene to them, but I do like a number of his songs. Ultimately, look, I like Elton John and the songs that he does produce and the classic songs he's known for. But I just felt in this portrayal of him, he just felt like a self-absorbed arsehole in a way, and I didn't really connect with him at all. But he's a redeemable character, so when I see a film with a redeemable character, whether I like him or not to begin with, as long as he's redeemable, I can connect to him. But I just didn't feel a connection at all with his character. I didn't really care. I didn't really believe Taron Edgerton to be this character, so I had nothing really to connect to. But he is redeemable and redeems himself later in the film, and I do like that. And maybe Elton John was really like this as a young man and struggling with fame and sexuality and things like that, and struggling to know who he was. Maybe he was like this, but I just felt that was something that let the film down a little bit. But I felt the chemistry between Taron Edgerton and Jamie Bell was really great. You could tell these two actors knew each other and were friends, and conveyed that quite well on screen. And the other thing I didn't like is they skipped over a lot of Elton John becoming famous, like they did in Bohemian Rhapsody. They're just quick flashes of things with newspaper articles and stuff that flashes up on screen to tell you how much money he's made and that he's made it as a person and that he's made it as a performer. And they really talk about these particular concerts he did, and there's one particular concert, his first one, where he sort of levitates off into the air as he plays the piano and everybody else lifts up, like he's lifting them up, like he's made it impact on everybody and has blown them all away and lifted the roof off the place. I really liked this scene. I thought it was quite well done. But like I said, it just gets skipped over a lot of stuff I felt we could have learned a bit more about. I just didn't enjoy this as much as I thought I would. I thought the film was okay, and it was kind of an interesting story. I do feel that Bohemian Rhapsody dealt with the subject matter and a band that I was more aware of and more interested, and had music that really gave way to a very interesting and fun and entertaining movie, where this film does have those scenes and that music, but a lot of his stuff was very personal and very quietly sung, that it didn't have the same impact that Bohemian Rhapsody did. Final verdict. Look, if you like Elton John and you like his music, if you want to kind of see what his life was like in a sort of a magical fantasy sort of way, you might enjoy this. And if you like musicals, you'll probably get a kick out of this. I don't know if this film's going to be for everyone. If you really want a strong character to connect to, I don't think this is really the film for you. I'm going to give Rocketman 3.5 out of 5. I thought it was okay and interesting. There were elements I did enjoy, but overall it wasn't as fun and entertaining as I expected it to be. Anyway, that's all from me today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit subscribe down the bottom. Otherwise, until next time, enjoy the movies.